All right. I'm live on Instagram. Hey, we got somebody joining us. That's awesome. Oh my God. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hello. Welcome. Okay. Join Dharma Instagram. Go there. Okay. So, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Maybe this will work. Maybe it'll click in and out. But, okay, so live stream moved to Instagram. Corey Dharma. Dharma. Join there. Okay, awesome. All right, so I made my post to Facebook. I'm going to keep the stream up on over there. But okay, all right. Hello, hi. Oh my God, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for dealing with this. I'm so sorry. The setup I had was so precarious. I couldn't buy a new webcam because the microphone and the webcam is broken. And Amazon isn't delivering webcams right now. So I got my Snowball, but it isn't great, and it started dying. So got to download the app. Be there soon. So, okay. All right. So let's okay. So I won't touch anything again. I'll just be in my books here. Okay. So, yeah, that doubt about being able to perform is, that's real. That happens in the moment. And so when we are having that, when we're having our technology fail us and our civilization is falling apart around us, it causes a lot of stress. It's not exactly something that we want to be happening, but tough shit. There's nothing you can do about it. You have a very limited amount of control. What you do have control over is yourself, is how you react to things. Something might happen to you, and you get sad or you get anxious, and it's there. But unfortunately, most of mindfulness, most meditators, most yoga, most the popular stuff that's out there is kind of designed to make you feel good. Because it's a good hook. It gets you in to the meditation. It gets you in the door. But that's not real mindfulness. That's not real meditation. Those things are kind of the good vibes only crowd. And unfortunately, if you only go to like one or two meditations, that might be all you take away from it, but it does go so much deeper. Our anxieties, our doubts, our fears, the things that hold us back from being the people that we need to be, those are not our enemies. Those things are there to be our teachers. They're there to guide us. So before we had all the snafu with the people over there on the YouTubes, they're not getting their stuff today. We were talking about civilization and how civilization is taught. It's something that we decided to do as a society. And a good definition of civilization is you can't shit in the well. We've all got to use that, but you have to teach people to do that. We are all born barbarians. We learn to be in a society. We learn to grow together. And it's a constant entropy of teaching people again and again and again, hey, don't mess up the well, don't mess up the well, don't mess up the well. But occasionally the well gets stuff in it. It becomes difficult for us to manage. And that's kind of what's happened right now, is that our civilization it's teetering just a tiny bit. It's going to survive. It's going to be fine. It's not cataclysmic, but it's those anxieties, those doubts, those things are real. You are really experiencing them. But what we don't want to do is we don't want to just push it away and avoid it and just watch Netflix until it's over, because that's just as effective as solving your problems as getting drunk. It's not useful. It just delays. It holds it off. It holds it off. It holds it off. And sometimes you need to. Sometimes for your mental health, you're not ready to deal with those kind of things. And that's completely understandable. But it's very easy to hide under that for your whole life. And some people do. Some people go their entire lives and they never engage with their fear. They never engage with their anxieties, their doubts. They don't stop and say, why do I feel this way? Well, it's your biology. Your biology is designed to make you afraid, to make you anxious, because those things kept you alive. Those things helped you populate the next generation. When there's a tiger off in the woods, oh, I better not go in there, right? That is totally natural and normal. But that's not civilization. That's nature. But if you want to nurture, if you want to cultivate, you're walking a path. You want to make yourself improve in some way. You have to decide for yourself, this behavior is not how I want to behave. And so you have to cultivate your garden. You have to pick weeds and plant fertilizer and water plants. It's work. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to sit there and look at your fear in the eye and say, what do you have to teach me? What do you have to help me grow? And that's when we have this problem about avoidance of negativity. Our culture is so comfortable that when we do encounter negativity, we aren't really weathering it very well. Oh God, I don't want to talk about it. No, I just want to watch Netflix. That's fine. But eventually, if you don't talk about it, the problem becomes systemic. Oh God, I don't want to argue with my parents. I don't want to have that difficult conversation. I don't want to tell my dad to turn off Fox News during dinner time because we're trying to have a family meal and it's poisoning our minds. It's hard to do that. It's hard to have that. It's hard to face your fears. And the tigers are all gone, mostly. Most of the things we evolved to be afraid of aren't real issues anymore. The big one is death. The big one is still the one that's never going away. So let's take a moment and say, it's not the enemy. It's a teacher. When you encounter your anxiety, when you encounter your difficulty in your growth as a human being, to be afraid, first of all, you got to recognize it. You can't even begin to change something that you don't like about yourself if you can't define it. If you can't, wrap it up in a package and say, okay, here's where the borders are. That's why people are afraid of the dark. They don't know what's in it. They don't know what's there. And so we are afraid of those things. But then when we start putting labels on it, when we start defining it and say, okay, oh, it's this big. It has this shape. It has this color. We give it a name. And when you give something a name, you start to, like doing a puzzle, you start to do the borders of the puzzle. And then the inside is a lot easier to manage because you know how far it extends. So when you encounter something that you don't understand, this is when labeling becomes a super useful tool. We define it, we shape it, and say, okay, this giant ball of anxiety that I had my whole life isn't this big. It's actually, this big, and it's shaped kind of weird. And it's actually kind of heavy, and that's interesting. Oh, let me look at that. Oh, look at that. There's a little man living inside. Oh, he's cute. Oh, it's me. Ah! And this is how we learn about the things that we don't like, is you have to experience them. You have to, when you're ready, face them and say, who are you? And why are you living inside of me? It's because it is you. It's because your anxiety that you're having right now, your doubt that you're having about the society at large falling apart, or whether your parents are going to get sick, or whether you're sick, or whether you lost your job or your money or anything like that, those things are... I'm sorry, I got distracted. This YouTube is yelling at me. Those things are part of you. It isn't all sunshine and daisies. Like, we can cultivate healthy lifestyles without danger, without a lot of fear, but that doesn't mean your biology is going to catch up with the society. It's millions of years behind. And that's okay. That's who you are as a person. When you are anxious, it is okay to be anxious. Now, I'll tell you a little story. About 4 years ago, I had my first panic attack when I was in California visiting a friend. And we were out walking in the woods, and he was like, oh, let's, they wanted to walk by this elementary school, and they wanted to take a shortcut to get to where they were going. And I was like, no, I don't want to walk by an elementary school. Like, I'm a teacher, and I understand what it looks like to be this large, hulking man with a big beard and, dark sunglasses walking by an elementary school. And, somebody points a finger at you and my career is over. Even if I have every right to just walk around the perimeter just to get somewhere else. So I'm very conscious about that. It's like, I teach kids and I don't want anybody teaching me. This is stupid, but it was in my head. It was a small thing. There was no reason we shouldn't be there. But for some reason, that little thought got in my head and I panicked. And I felt like I was having a heart attack. And we had to go home. So I went home, and then I was in California, and it happened again the next day with something completely unrelated. I came back to Florida, and I started teaching I was already a meditation teacher, but it started energy meditation in Miami Beach, class full of people, and my anxiety started to tweak off, and my chest started to get tight, and I was like, oh no. I'm guiding all these people right now, and I'm having a panic attack. And I powered through. I used the mindfulness tools that I had been taught to say, this is really uncomfortable right now, but I know I will be fine. I know that it will pass. Intellectually, I'm able to say, all right, I'm doubtful about the future. I'm anxious. I'm worried, but I know that it won't last. It's kind of like going to the dentist, and dentist is drilling in your teeth, and it sucks. But you do it anyway because you know that it's healthy for you. But you have someone telling you to go to the dentist. All right, are we still there? Okay. It said I was paused for a second. You have somebody telling you, go to the dentist. You don't have somebody telling you, face your fears and let that anxiety in. Not really. You have it in kids' books and stuff, but on a day-to-day basis, most people are avoiding discomfort. They're avoiding their pain. They're avoiding ever feeling bad. Because it feels bad. It's not pleasant at all. But it's a teacher. Those are the moments when you need to lean in and say, what do you have to teach me? So, let's do some more meditation. Let's take a moment and say, all right, we can take our focus and we can put it on our breath and say, all right, watching my breath, watching my breath. We can take our focus and put it on our body and say, all right, feeling my body move. Feeling my body move. Feeling my butt on the chair. I'm feeling my feet on the floor. Feeling my skin on my socks. Socks on my skin. Feeling the watch on my wrist. Right? I'm feeling the clothes way down my body. You can take your focus and look at something physical like your breath, or like your body touching something. But you can also use it to pay attention to how you feel or how you think or what you're thinking about. It's harder. Your body is pretty constant, but your thoughts changing quick. Your feelings, however, they're a little slower moving. And when you're in them, it can feel like they're persistent. You get in an argument with your significant other, and tensions get high, and you're like, nah, I want to fight back. But you can take that moment to just take one breath and say, what does this feel like? What does it feel like to be angry? What does it feel like to be in pain? What does it feel like to have a toothache or to argue with somebody that you love? It doesn't feel great, but I guarantee you, if you decide to take your focus and non-judgmentally pay attention to it and say, what does it feel like to be wrong? It feels exactly the same as it feels to be right. You just don't know you're wrong. What does it feel like to be angry? Well, not great. Do you want to stay angry? No. Well, then why would you continue to hold on to that anger? Maybe, just maybe, if you allow a negative emotion to persist so you can examine it like you would your breath or your body, and really go, what does this feel like? What does this feel like? What does my panic feel like? What does my doubt feel like? Put borders on it. Put a shape to it. Add a color. It doesn't matter if it's accurate. What matters is that you are able to shape it so you understand it a little better. It will not be totally accurate. Your idea of this thing will just be an image, but it can help you manage it in a real and effective way. It gives you vocabulary to be able to describe it. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to put vocabulary on some of our negativity. So I want you to sit. Just sit still. Take a breath. And I want you to ask yourself, what does this feel like? Start with the body. What does this feel like? What does your breath feel like? What do your legs feel like? Calm down a little bit. Now ask yourself, what emotions do I have right now? Maybe none. What emotions did you have this last week? Think back. Pick a strong one. What did it feel like to feel lonely? What did it feel like when you were disconnected? What did it feel like to be bored? Consider it. Give it time. If you are feeling that thing right now, lean into it. Observe it. Be a witness. If you were thinking about something that happened before, remember how uncomfortable it was. And again, just be a witness. You're a scientist taking notes. What does it feel like? Try to use descriptive language in your head. What does fear feel like? The terms that you come up with are going to be yours, and talking about them with other people is not going to translate really well. You should try to talk about your emotions to other people. But keep in mind that those experiences are yours, and you can't share them. We can commiserate with each other. We can say, oh yeah, I've been lonely. I know what that feels like. But it's not really the same as your loneliness. It's unique to you. And we can both just kind of agree. Yeah, we know what each other's talking about. Maybe. But that's the part about being in a civilization. We have to just agree at some point that what you're thinking about and what I'm thinking about are on the same wavelength. And a lot of times they're not. That's why communication is so important. When times are bad, and we're all in this together, we struggle together. And I'll tell you something, it's not your happiness that brings people together. It's the struggle. It's the struggle that makes you learn. Everything you have ever done in your life that was meaningful and impactful for you required some struggle. Wanted to get straight A's? You had to struggle. You wanted to lift weights and bench 200 pounds? You had to struggle. You wanted to ask that girl out on a date and you felt really awkward about it and then she laughed in your face? You had to struggle. Did you want to get good at that thing? You had to struggle. Everything that requires you to struggle teaches you something. The easy things are pleasant and nice. Sugar is sweet and medicine is bitter. And truth be told, your negativity, your negative experiences are teachers. They help you grow, but only if you approach them in the right way. Only if you allow them to have their place in a healthy way. And that requires you to pay attention, to not bury your head in the sand. When times are tough, and sometimes you just need to come home and watch Netflix, and that's totally fine. But if times are tough all the time, it might be time to take a look at those things and go, all right, time to grow. It's time to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And the only way to do that is to step outside your comfort zone. And nobody likes doing that. But all the people you know who run those half marathons when I couldn't run 10 feet down the street, that person is comfortable being uncomfortable. And that's a superpower. And all those people you look up to, all your teachers, all your heroes, the people that we admire, the people we respect them because they are capable of making themselves do something difficult. And they've gotten good at that thing. Being anxious is difficult. Having doubts is difficult. Worrying about society collapsing is difficult. Worrying about your health is difficult. Worrying about whether you have money to pay for things, it's difficult. But it does make you stronger. It makes you better for having gone through it. What's difficult for me is that I'm a teacher, and right now I can't teach that often. So I've decided to start doing these live chats. YouTube says the stream has been stopped because we detected copyrighted audio or video. There has been absolutely no music. It's just me. So that can't possibly be right. I have no idea why. I had stream issues, and I'm trying to give myself out to say, here, let me teach you guys something. Let's have a meditation. Let's have a talk. Because it's my way of helping. It's my way of giving back. And if you have found what we have talked about today to be at all useful, and you have the means to do so, it would be great if I could pass around a tip jar or a hat and say, I hope you appreciated this lesson. If it was useful to you, stick $1 in the hat. And you can at patreon.com/CoreyDharma, CorydHarma. You can support me for as little as $5 a month. I'm going to be doing these every week. If you choose to help out, and you don't have to, because there's still going to be lots of free stuff, lots of free teachings, then you can just do that. But if you want to support a teacher who's going to be giving you some pretty interesting things, you can go there and help me out there. You can also become one of my students through Patreon, and then we will do one-on-one lessons, help you with meditation, help you with your personal practice. I can help you find out the path that works for you. All paths lead to the same mountain, sorry, people are texting me. All paths lead to the same mountain, but not everybody gets there the same way, and that's okay. And as a teacher, I am not the mountain. I'm just a little bit taller, and I can see the path a little clearer, and I'm just doing this. Over there, this way. And I see you over there, and I see your struggle, and I see your suffering, and I go, I got you, buddy. You go that way. So that's what I want to do, is help you out the best I can. So if you found this at all helpful, please go to patreon.com/CoreyDharma and help if you can. If not, you can check out my podcast, Mindfulness of Doom, at mindfulnessofdoom.com or anywhere that you can find podcasts of all quality. We have over 45 episodes of backlog that you can check out. It's great stuff. We really appreciate, me and my podcast partner would really appreciate if you checked it out. It's a free show. It's comedy, and we talk about doom and doubts and uncertainties and the things that hold us back from being the person that we need to be. So, thank you so much for joining me today. I wanted to do more meditation. I wanted to do more stuff, but we kind of got sidetracked with the YouTube turning into Instagram. And so it was a little bit hectic there, but thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. And it was really fulfilling for me to say my piece and get out there and, not stop hiding away watching Netflix, because that's not healthy for me. So thank you guys so much. You're fantastic. Waves to all of you. I haven't been touching anything because I don't want to mess up the audio again. So if you have any questions and you want to ask me questions, you can type them in, and I will do what I can to answer them. You can also reach out to me at my website, CoreyDharma.com. You can send me you can send me questions through there, and I will get back to you personally if you're interested in that kind of thing. So, yeah, thank you guys so much. I'm going to end the stream there. Y'all have a great one. Send me some questions, and I'll answer them on the next call. Cool. All right. Bye.